Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast, and we have got one that I am very excited for today, as it could be the Protoss bot hero that we've been waiting for. A bot I don't believe I've cast before. It's Deimos. And Deimos is created by Team Eris, showing us that they're ready to produce a Protoss variant. I'm going to try not to overhype it too much, but I'm cautiously optimistic to see how this bot does. We're on Oceanborn. It will be taking on BenBot. I honestly didn't know what Deimos was till I just clicked on a random BenBot replay to be like, alright, let's watch a BenBot game. And then I saw that Team Eris has recently, as July 7th, I believe it was, on SC2 AI, put up a Protoss bot on the ladder. And so it looks like it's their latest project, which is very exciting because Phobos, now we got Deimos, then there's Eris. So yeah, we'll see how well this Protoss bot does as this match gets started. Both bots scouting out, that's very important. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and click that like button for a new Protoss bot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is the hub for SC2 bot/AI videos. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. And big thanks to everyone that does support the channel via YouTube membership. I'm glad to say we've hit our goal of 10 members, which is fantastic. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. And we do have Deimos going for a double Adept opening. We'll see what it's going to go for behind this, whether it'll be a Nexus or what. This is an atypical Protoss build, seeing as how Adepts are more used in PvP or PvZ. But yeah, this is literally just like a ladder build that Protoss does. Again, in like a PvP kind of double Adept opening into Stargate. The Adepts are now going to shade across the map. BenBot is going for a wall on the low ground, however I'm not sure if it'll be done in time to block these Adepts. And we'll see how well the bot author has programmed these Adepts, whether they can make it past such a bunker, whether it'll get some work done or not. Is there going to be another depot built in time before these Adepts get in? That's going to be the question. This is something that bot authors don't have to deal with too much, I don't think. However, oh no, those Adepts, bad targeting there. One does try and focus that SCV, completes a shade into the main base, so it will dance around and harass a little bit. However, it is going to be getting pursued, so great defensive programming by the author of BenBot. The Adept then makes it into the natural base, going to be working away on another one of those SCVs. However, the SCV does get a wall up, which is very important, as there's two more Adepts coming on in, but then again, that depot's lowered. The Adept is doing what Adepts do best, which is bounce back and forth, and even bots are susceptible to being out multitasked by Adept's harassment. The Adept, however, does get taken care of. These other two Adepts do not make it in. They want to grab that SCV, and they do. They don't make it in because of the wall, and it does indeed raise when an Adept shade gets near. I was curious if that was going to be the case or not, as, you know, Adept shades aren't really units, so it's like, does the programming of BenBot cover that? But it does, so that's good to see. In comes an Oracle now, however, the bunker is doing wonders for BenBot. Deimos isn't really programmed to play around bunkers, it looks like. The Oracle popped its prismatic alignment and then canceled it. Behind this, though, we do have Deimos going for a Nexus, all the while BenBot is going for Infernal Pre-Igniter, weirdly enough. Both bots are going to have an expansion getting up. The wall is holding nice and strong. And this is a really cool kind of pivot, dare I say, for the authors, for Team Eris. As we've had Phobos, which basically just goes for a two-base tank push. Then we've had Eris, which just basically exclusively goes for safe macro. And so yeah, it's really cool to see that this bot has got, or that the bot authors are playing around with a little bit of harassment, that kind of thing. They really are targeting SCVs as this Oracle comes on in. However, it is scared of the one Marine. Unfortunate that it can't realize that it could just fry that Marine up. The Oracles, though, are still alive. We've got an Observer on the way. I am curious to see how well Deimos is going to macro, as Eris is the best macro bot. And so it is cool to see that the bot authors are taking on that challenge. However, it is yet to saturate its natural at all, really. It's got plenty of energy for Chrono Boost. It's just throwing up more and more gateways. It looks like it's solely focused on attacking, and this Nexus is a bit of a red herring, it almost looks like. Deimos does not seem to be planning to macro here. Combat Shield is on the way now for BenBot, so it's upgrading its bio units. It does like to make a ragtag group of bio units prior to going into the BCs that it's so famous for. Concussive Shell Marauders are doing a good job tagging these Stalkers, and the Stalkers got to be really careful. Oracles keep flying in and scouting. And yeah, BenBot kind of being contained a little bit here. The Stalkers with the Observer are going to work away on a depot. They got to be careful to avoid the tanks, though. So far the pathing has been pretty good as far as bots are concerned, I'll say, for Deimos. Like, it's not easy to program a bot that will play around a siege tank properly, and it's not doing it perfectly, but it is putting a little bit of pressure on BenBot, not throwing away all its units. However, as I say that, a couple Stalkers do get taken care of. Deimos has got the Oracles out, now making an Immortal and walking that out. It's really not saturating its natural at all. So I am disappointed by the lack of Chrono Boost here. By the lack of macro planning, it seems. Immortal gonna walk on in for Deimos. I am a little bit curious if this is a brand new bot or not. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more, because I'm getting a bit of deja vu with this game. But maybe that is just a common thing. Something about a Protoss bot that macros, or that goes for a Nexus but doesn't really build any more workers, feels a little familiar. We do have Deimos trying to maintain this contain. It is going to block that attempt to expand so far. However, the Immortal taking a lot of damage. Stalkers are microing against these Marauders. The Immortal can just pack a punch against these Marauders. However, they are potentially going to kill it off. Saved by the barrier, though. It stays alive. So we are seeing a nice trade for Deimos here. I'm just a little bit concerned by its lack of macro. Like, why it's not squeezing out a few extra probes here. It's quite concerning, it being hard locked on these 23 workers. It's like the Liberator going to siege up. The Immortal going to have to avoid that. Looks like it will stay alive, saved by some Stalkers. That command center has been forced back once again. Looks like the eBay's taken a couple shots and may actually have its high-sec auto-tracking canceled. The first battle cruiser is on the way for BenBot, though. It is really important for BenBot that it gets up an expansion, though. But yeah, like, look at this. Like, Deimos is going up to more and more gateways. 8 gateways. However, it has yet to make any more workers. So I'm wondering if there's a bug in the programming here for Deimos or something. Like, whether there's a reason it stopped making workers. It is trying to poke the natural. However, this one tank is so problematic, just shelling away on the Stalkers, obliterating them with every volley. There's even a tank on the high ground now. And so Deimos is unsuccessfully attacking right now. It was doing much better when it was just containing, and it's going to try and do that again, seeing as how this command center is now floating on down. Stalkers can work away on this command center. It is very injured. It lands. In comes a battlecruiser, going to try and save the day. SCVs are transferring. The CC does get lifted off as a bunch of SCVs come in to repair this, though. And yeah, Deimos has got to be bugged here with the lack of building any more workers, I feel. Like, this is like a Xena thing, almost. Just like going for the expansion, but then just being so focused on attacking. So I am a little curious for the reasoning behind that. The command center did stay alive. The BC did stay alive. The CC is going to try its luck once again. I mean, BenBot isn't taking great trades here. However, it does have a better economy by far. We'll see if the trades get better now that we've got a battlecruiser that can dump out Yamato cannon. Liberator does get taken care of. The Stalkers have yet to get any upgrades as well, so there's no +1 on these or anything like that. The tanks are still shelling away incredibly effectively. Deimos throws up another gateway. And yeah, it looks like the Protoss bot's contain is going to get broken eventually here. As there's just no way it's going to be able to make enough units. It is going to be forced back, I think. Yeah, the Immortal just wanders forward. And so we're seeing something that's not too polished here. Oracle's trying to harass a little bit, however one Marine can push them away. The unit count for Deimos is incredibly low at this point, and I think BenBot is just going to run away with this game at this point. I'll have to check out another Deimos game to see if it does eventually make more workers, or if it is just focused on pushing like this. It has, like, transferred a couple workers to this base as the main base has started to mine out. Seems every time it builds a building, it sends the worker down to the natural base. We see BenBot saying build order issue, so something's going on with it. However, it is doing just fine with getting up a third base, saturating that up. It's going to keep spamming chat, it looks like. We'll just turn that off. However, we can still hear the sound. I forgot about that. Oh dear, BenBot. BenBot is always the bot that does this. Oh man. BenBot, why? I'm sorry to everyone who's watching this. Last time it did this, I think it was like a mule or CC reset, I think. So we'll see if BenBot ever fixes its build order issue, or if it's just going to keep spamming that chat tag. Potentially the fact that it hasn't made this... Oh, I bet it's because it lost the eBay. Yeah, the eBay died, so it can't turn this into a planetary. And I guess it's got no redundancy to rebuild that engineering bay. So, we know why that's happening. If Deimos isn't going to change its behavior, though, I don't think it's ever going to win this game. I may fast forward this one a little bit. I mean, it is poking the third base. The Immortal is shrekking Marauders. So, like, it's not doing horrible, actually. Like, if this doesn't turn into a planetary, maybe there's a chance that Deimos can win this game. If BenBot just keeps feeding in units to this. The BC, though, does come on in. BenBot, it's got the BC trading on out. It is spending a lot of money on repair, so it's not making as many units as it can, really. It's actually really limited by production here, with just, like, 1 rack or 2 racks up. It's not making another BC, so we've got 2 bots that are seemingly just, like, a little hard stuck right now. Maybe Deimos is going to break this. This is a lot of Stalker firepower. It's a really good attack angle. BenBot is just burning money trying to repair this command center that should be a planetary, but is not, because Deimos killed the eBay earlier. A couple of SCVs are getting killed off, however we do see in comes the battlecruiser, going to kill off 1 Stalker, kills off a 2nd as well, so now the Stalkers are being pushed back. I mean, this BC will eventually be forced back, though, and the attack on this base can resume, so BenBot burning money. It's still got a lot of money to burn, though, as it's still mining in the main. It's got the natural still mining. I hope you guys can hear me over all this chat spam. So I'm actually going to turn down the volume a little bit. Ambient sounds, is that it? I wonder if that turns that off. Let's try those. We're experimenting. We're learning here today, everyone. Nope. Still playing the chat sound. We tried. Yeah, we'd have to turn off. I wonder if just turning off sound does that. Okay, so turning off sound does it. We still have the music, though. I think that's honestly better than listening to that spammeroni. Now, Deimos is putting a lot of damage onto this, and it's potentially going to die. Now, it needs to get a lot more work done than this. Like, it needs to have BenBot spam this repair for, like, 10 minutes or something. As the Stalkers and the Immortals keep stepping into this Liberator, they're killing off a lot of SCVs here, though. I mean, BenBot can afford to lose a lot more workers than Deimos can. But yeah, that command center forced off. It is going to try and land back. BenBot seems to have redundancy as far as trying to re-expand there goes. However, it doesn't seem to address the root problem, which isn't surprising. Then again, we see the natural or the third base get lifted off, that all of a sudden is going to push Deimos to attack the natural, which seemingly will never ever be broken. As, yeah, there's just way too much firepower with those 2 siege tanks. The build order issue continues, and it's still spamming that. So it's not necessarily just trying to turn that into a planetary, because it was landed, or it wasn't landed, so it couldn't make that into a PF. So maybe my PF theory is wrong, but something's going on with BenBot here. The Immortals are eating shots. The Liberator does get dealt with. Is BenBot still trying to expand? This is a lot of BenBot games. BenBot just trying to take an expansion, always having a hard time with it. We are seeing +2 armor about to finish for BenBot, though. That will make the BC stronger. Deimos mining away at its natural base. It is long distance mining towards its third. I'm curious to see if we'll ever see a third. It's still adding on more gateways, so like it's got some basic loops it's repeating, but they defy all logic in regards to the fact that there's already 11 gateways and only 23 probes mining. Looks like Deimos gonna try and break that natural once again. Gonna fail once again. However, then the command center comes back. The Stalkers are getting engaged by the Marauders, and there's quite a bit of Terran here. So Deimos takes a bad trade, falls a lot of supply. Falls down in supply a lot. Another Stalker comes forward. It looks like things are getting better for BenBot, though. Is there another Immortal wandering across the map? No, there's not. Looks like Deimos is pretty hard stuck on the gas, too. Now that it's mined out of gas, it's yet to build another refinery. And so I think if we don't see another assimilator be built, then Deimos is just going to run out of steam, as it's obviously not making zealots. And I think we have got a win condition here for BenBot. And so, yeah, that's got to be it. Like, Deimos is hard stuck. We see its mineral bank building up. Both these bots have been a little bugged out this game, but then again, that's bot programming. There's always issues with this. This one Immortal is doing such good work. Just popping off Marauders, no problem. But, yeah, Deimos not building another Nexus, so no hope in ever getting a refinery up or anything like that. And so, as these Stalkers die, that's going to be it for Deimos, I think. Oracles come on in, they try and harass a little bit. What an interesting match. Of course, Deimos is probably a new project from Team Eris. Just needs a little bit more love. Of course, the Macrobots have also got some commentating bias, as they just naturally have more depth. Like, BenBot struggled this game, but it did eventually get up that base, kind of. Its build order did get stuck, but it kept making units. It never got another base up. I think that the eBay may have been the catalyst for BenBot glitching out. So that may be some redundancy the bot author needs to add. Get another eBay. Replace buildings that are lost. But then again, that's a whole can of worms, because your bot can get caught into loops trying to replace things that it doesn't need to. And yeah, so yeah, Deimos just mining minerals, completely bugged out at this point. We'll see if it eventually builds a new Nexus when it mines out its natural base, but I highly doubt that. It's probably just going to long distance mine. It may never mine this out as well. For some reason, this mineral patch is so much more than the others. And BenBot is moving out, going for the throat. Deimos will fall, but not a bad showing for its first game. It's got some cool attack behavior. And if you guys want to see more Deimos games on the channel, preferably without spammy chat, go ahead, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the Discord, and do consider becoming a YouTube member if you want to support the channel. There's various perks. I got the new icons there. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.